that powerful meditation which is resonating through us at this particular time. But as we bring our attention back, we come across a very important unity theme, which is how to stay centered no matter what. Sometimes that's a big task, but we can always keep going and try. That's the theme from Unity Worldwide Ministries for 2021. And so far this year, we've looked at the powers of faith in January, strength in February, wisdom and judgment, discrimination for March. And so here we are in May, and the power is very good. And it's also usually got a / dominion, power and dominion, which are hand in hand. But it's also very auspicious that the position in the body is at the base of the tongue, the voice box. Jesus said, "The words I have spoken are spirit and life." With our voice, we express our feelings, and words can be weapons, if not used with the power of wisdom and love, the head and heart. And as we know, we study 12 powers because you really can't have one without the other. They balance them out. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. We've heard sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Well, that's nonsense. We all know that. Just look at social media and what it's doing to young folk today that make it so easy for them to just say what they like. And quite often, no one knows where it's come from. So throughout the year, we're discovering how these 12 powers can be of assistance in our life's journey here, this mystery school. The mystery school of opposites, where we have to learn to balance and remain in the middle, keeping that, I love that term, the high watch. Now, we're all going to have our moments where we fall off the perch, but we can ride these rough oceans of life, even if circumstances seem challenging, and we can take dominion and declare peace, be still. And when Jesus used his voice, when he raised Lazarus, he didn't quietly say, "Oh, Lazarus, come on, get up." He used every ounce of his energy, and you could probably hear it miles away, the cry and the feeling. And I imagine the disciples in the boat, which is a metaphysical side to this, but in the boat where Jesus calmed the storm, the waves and the water, which represents emotion, and he said, "Peace, be still." And how often have we had to say that to ourselves when our stomach is churning and you think, "Oh, peace be still, peace be still." No, you have to really say it with feeling. Take dominion. Now, apart from the power of speech, I alluded to this just a few moments ago, we have communication via email. Here we have to be very careful before we press the send button. And how often have we accidentally sometimes pressed send button and think, "Oh my goodness, this is terrible." I remember someone had something up on the Facebook, and I thought, "Oh, good, I like this." It was something about someone had passed away, a famous movie star, and so I meant to put sad, but I put joy or something like that up, and off it went into the unknown. It was terrible. I think someone here rescued me from that. I'm learning about this all the time, but you know, and sometimes I've been told, I remember sometimes when I was speaking to someone about this, that you can send an email or have an email at night when you're really angry at someone. Something might come through at 10 o'clock at night and you think, "How dare they?" And so you write off your venom. But words of wisdom, wait until the next morning. It's much more, the balance is better. You can see your perspectives better. And then very carefully press the send button. I've got an old book. I've had this for years. It's called The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. And the translation is by Edward Fitzgerald. There are a number of translations, but I thought, gee, this is amazing. This ancient wisdom is just so right for our precious time now. So I'll read this particular one. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on, nor all thy piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash out a word of it. Isn't that symbolic of what's happening at this particular time with communications and people sending off this and calling this one out and shading this? Oh, anyway. So that to me, I've had that book since I was 16. And I find something relevant in it all the time. Now, words. We've seen the people take the words of the Bible literally. My goodness. When you think that a snake spoke to Eve. A snake. And the snake again is throughout the Bible, we feel that this particular word has a trigger to it. And especially when you hear this from Luke 10, verse 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. My goodness. That particular Bible verse is the basis for a church. The Snake Handlers Church in Tennessee. There they are, you can look them up, and there's a very charismatic young man, and there's baskets of snakes, and there's someone playing the piano, and they're all singing, and there's a hillbilly guitar, and it's quite charismatic, really. And here they are having all these snakes. Last time I checked it out, there were a few less in the audience. And they seem to be getting younger, but they don't seem to last too long. But they're there, they're illegal. You're not supposed to be doing that there, but you can't stop people from doing what they want if they're in the middle of Tennessee. But I wonder if they got to the part in the Bible where it said, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. And we are so blessed with our metaphysical Bible dictionary and the revealing word. We are a great stepping stone from all of us that have been Methodists, Presbyterians, Catholics, whatever. We can see the metaphorical meaning behind some of these words. Serpent, that means sense consciousness, or the desire of unspiritualized, unenlightened humans for sensation throughout our appetite. So by listening to the serpent of the senses, humankind falls into its lowest estate. Power of words. Now, generally, we have all sorts of feelings and thoughts and words flowing through our mind. We don't even know what's there sometimes. Sometimes we wake up and we come across something we've just recalled in a dream, and you think, I don't want that stuff in my subconscious. But sometimes our mind shapes these thoughts and feelings into words, and we speak what is determined by our personal consciousness. Sometimes we all have a Freudian slip. And you think, my goodness, where did that come from? What made me say that? And that's why it's vital as we move into the teachings, we practice our meditation and our prayer and our general study and put them into action. It's not so much what people say, it's the way they say it. We get a feeling from them. St. Paul's 1 Corinthians verse 13. If I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong, a clanging cymbal. And when our voice has united with our soul, there's a resonance that hits us right where we feel it here. I had this experience with different types of speakers when I went to the International Youth Thought Alliance in Phoenix. I think 2014 was the first one. All these different speakers, ministers, preachers, teachers from all across America. And of course, we had the powerful ones, the Billy Graham types. And then we had the African American types of Reverend Jack, who used to be here. Some of you remember him. He was a very, very powerful speaker. Then a little old lady came up on the stage. Sorry, Sylvia, but she did. And I thought, my goodness, not much is going to happen here. We just had all these powerful men speaking. Then this lady got up and started speaking. The room just melted. She got her message across without having to go to any extremes of mannerism. Her voice had landed with her soul, and that resonated with us in our soul. And I sometimes tell people that, oh, Jesus loves me. Jesus loves everyone. Jesus is love. And the fact that you're in that atmosphere, you pick it up and it resonates in you. That powerful feeling. Now, the Unity 5 principles, along with the 12 powers, are a good guiding light for those ready for the next step of spiritual expansion. And I feel we're going to have a few more people join us over the next few months because the time has come and we are ready for them. Principle 3. Human beings create their experience by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. We know that we are each an individualized expression of the one presence and one power right here and right now. But it's not our power. We don't own that power. We are just it in expression. And some say, I don't have to worry about that. We're born perfect. Some groups say it in their teachings. Well, we're born perfect, but we are just short of expressing that perfection. There's more work we have to do till we get to that point where we really are perfect. We mightn't have to be here. But then you'll get your next stage of the journey to become even more perfect and even more expansion. And the situation is, not only are we creating with the action of our thoughts, so too is everyone else. They may not be very nice thoughts, and we get surrounded by them. What we create sometimes clashes with that. As we're seeing in the world today, it's not all about us or me. No one is an island unto themselves anymore, as we've just found out the last year or so. We are here as students of the beautiful planet and Mother Earth, the mystery school of Mother Earth, the highs and lows. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, but we keep going, and the wave gets smoother and smoother. But not everyone is at the same state of development, and that is our challenge, to put our spiritual teachings into action as we do unto others, as they would have done unto us. We say there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God, the good, the magnificent. And some say, if that's the case, why is there so much evil in the world? Unity won't use that word, they use error. But still, when people are new to this philosophy, evil seems evil. There is no power of evil, but people, us, many gods in expression, God help us, we are the ones that make evil choices. which unfortunately means they also have the power, which fortunately means they also have the power to choose good. If we're individual expressions of God, that's a responsibility we have to wake up to and be aware of, that power which is in us to use however we want to use it. But we take the consequences for how we use it. In times of personal tragedy, when we're caught up in the events of life, I think of another little book. This isn't the book, but it's similar. It's called Living the Serenity Prayer. And a little story to this, during the week, I had a bit of a block how I was going to go about this. And so I said to my inner self, I said, take me to a wisdom temple. It's a tool I've heard in another group years ago. I didn't really think too much about it. And I thought, well, I woke up and thought, no, I haven't been to any wisdom temple, I don't think. Then all of a sudden I got up and I thought, the Serenity Prayer. Now this book has been the shelf in the minister's office, never interested me because I've got books like this. And I thought, my goodness, this book, this prayer, this time has come. Most of you know it. It's only a short prayer, but I'm just going to read a little bit of it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is using our power in line with universal spiritual intelligence as we grow into being a more perfect expression of it. So to sum up, the power and dominion are the ability to master, dominate, and control. We take dominion of ourselves, not others. To apply this power, I put my thoughts into actions in line with infinite intelligence. We know that Spirit provides us with every good thing, such as ideas and substance, and we shape these ideas into physical manifestation. Yet we have to make the effort through our own efforts, our mental and spiritual God-given attributes, and we are helped here with the 12 powers, and there may be more, but 12 will do me fine for this particular time of my life. We use these powers in line with understanding and wisdom. See, there they are combining again. And we go about life knowing that for every action, there is always a reaction. And as we learn from our past use or misuse of these powers, we see the fruits of these actions in our lives, just where we are now. And gradually we become anchored in this expanded awareness that we can express at all times, regardless of the situations that are happening around us, whether we're knocked around by life's ups and downs. Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, calls it, you get to a place where it's called established faith. This church is built on a rock, the rock of faith. Power is ours now. Choose this day, this moment, how you will master this power. The results of our choice are reflected in our life and circumstances. So choose well. So be it. Amen. Thank you.